Yo, what's up, bro? Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna try something new with this video. It's the beginning of a series where I document everything, probably, hopefully for real this time. I'm gonna try to stick to a weekly schedule of uploading where I pretty much go over what happened in the week and the lessons that I learned and yeah, what I'm studying and what I will try to do in the future. The topic for today is I'm switching my tech stack from C Sharp to Node, and I'm gonna tell you a bit more about the features that I'm implementing for Finbud, and on top of that, tell you a story about my most recent interview process and how that went, and why I think that I'm getting closer to moving out. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So I've been trying to implement this feature on Finbud. Yeah, I want to have on the homepage a feature where I can take a look at my finances at a glance. And so currently the app supports, maybe it's better like this. Currently, the app supports three budgets. So you have expenses, you have leisure, and you have investments. And so I want to have on a homepage sort of at a glance feature where I can easily take a look and see how my budgets are going when I'm going through the month. And so what I actually discovered was that I made a pretty big design mistake, let's say, where when I designed the model for the transaction, instead of including the start date for a transaction, I was like, yeah, I don't need a start date. And so now I stumbled upon the thing that where I need to basically track a transaction to a budget. So currently the default for a budget is like a month. And so over the course of the month, when you upload transactions, the budget needs to reflect the transactions value and how much you spent from your budget over the budget cycle. And so I stumbled upon this problem where I needed the start date, but I couldn't really get the start date because it wasn't parsed from the bank statement. And so this brought me to I mean, considering the point of Finbud, the change wasn't that bad because what I did was pretty much I deleted the table with the transactions and I have to re-upload the statement. I redid the parsing logic and everything. I updated the model, but this got me thinking that surely in a production environment, in a real world scenario with millions of users, this wouldn't really be the best thing that you can do, right? Like truncating the table, deleting all the data, and updating the model like this. Surely this isn't the best one. And yeah, I actually let me do something. So yeah, what I did, I mean, this is how I'm using AI. Is I'm pretty much using it as a pair programming partner, and I asked it about the defining requirements for a model for a feature, and it actually brought a pretty nice system. And what I wanted to tell you guys about is about this focus on the nouns of your system, the core domain modeling. So before, when I was designing models and then features, I didn't necessarily go so in depth when defining them. And yeah, I guess this is why I'm at the point where I am right now with the application and everything. But focusing on the nouns of your system is actually pretty good. So instead of focusing on what the feature does or what the model does, think about the nouns, what it actually represents. So in the case of Finbud, we have the user, which pretty much holds anything. You have a transaction, which represents an actual transaction object with everything that a transaction has. So when you think of a transaction, you want to get the type of the transaction, the amount, a description, and a starting date because you might want to link it later to something else. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty interesting thing that I wanted to share with you guys. So whenever you do core domain modeling, you should focus on the nouns and not the verbs. The verbs come afterwards. Hey, what's up, bro? Another day, another update. The past couple of days have been quite interesting. ever since I got rejected from a company that actually seemed to be really aligned with my values and the mission and everything. But yeah, I guess I can give you guys some more details about the company later. But yeah, for let's say a short summary, the company was really aligned with me, with my values, with my mission. From my point of view, everything was aligned. Um, but yeah, even though I did crush the interviews, like uh, in the system design interview, the guy actually said that I'm the first person that he wants to cut the interview short for, because from his point of view, there's nothing really that he can ask me, and that he thinks that I'm the right man for the job. Which, bro, at the time of hearing that, I was almost to the point of crying tears of joy, because that's by far the nicest thing someone ever said to me in an interview. So after this, I was like, yeah, okay, it went really well. This means that I should be expecting an offer, right? But yeah, it seems like something happened. I'm not quite sure what, but yeah, they ended up rejecting me. And in the past couple of days, I've been trying to find other jobs. I'm back in the job hunting loop and everything, and I've applied to like 20 or 30 jobs so far. But what I'm struggling with is the fact that web companies are not really using C sharp, or rather, um, startups or smaller sized companies that I'm targeting are not really using C sharp for web development, and instead they're using like Next.js, TypeScript, or Python with fast API and shit. And I was like, um, yeah, it's pretty tough, because in the past couple of months, I've actually tried switching the tech stack from C sharp with ASP.NET Core to Python with Fast API. But after applying to some jobs, I can't really remember how many jobs I've applied to, but nobody really was interested in what I had to offer, because on my CV there is nowhere written Python at X company, so there's no real professional experience. It was only a couple of projects that I did. Even with Finbot, the original backend was written in Python. I Right now it's rewritten for C sharp. Everything is in C sharp right now, but but yeah, things are about to take a turn again. So in those past couple of days, I've been looking at jobs and shit, and I saw that pretty much everyone uses Next.js or Python, and I was like, okay, well, if I want to move towards web development and find a full stack position, then I need to be in one of those stacks. So I was like, okay, if I need to know one of these, then I need somehow to be able to learn them and make it appealing on my CV, because otherwise I will end up in the same position that I was with the Python tech stack. And so what I'm actually going to do right now is I'm gonna start writing all new features in Next.js, and keeping my current backend in C sharp for let's consider it legacy and for backwards compatibility. But this would pretty much be the third time that I'm writing this backend, and yeah, hopefully it will work out in the end. So what pushed me towards this change was actually a story from Daniel Dalen, where he said he had a position open for a full stack engineer. But although I would absolutely love to work with Daniel and his people, moving to Hong Kong would be insane. I've never thought of it, but wow. Coming from a small city in Romania, moving to Hong Kong is something from the science fiction movies. But yeah, anyway, back to the point. He's hiring for a full stack engineer, but my current problem is that I'm not really fulfilling the requirements, because his tech stack is obviously Next.js, as are other startups and small sized companies. And so this really did push me towards the direction of changing the tech stack once again. So yeah, the plan is to pretty much write all new features in Next.js and try to get used to the tools, and hopefully by the end of this application I will have something to show for in the interviews. And I think that even though the backend hasn't been written from the start in Next.js, I think this will actually make a better story, because this would show flexibility and adaptability, because I'm able to pick up a new tech stack and at the same time keep the legacy system working. So yeah, back to the next segment, I guess. Hey, what's up, bro? Bit of a scenery change, but I'm out and about getting my steps in, and I just figured that it's time for me to dive a bit into the story with the company that I applied at, because now, as you can see outside, it's later. So um, yeah, it's an interesting story, I would say. It was the first time that I was involved in like a mid-level interview. It was the first time that I did system design, and I completely blew the guy out of the water, which is great. It's amazing. It's probably the best outcome that you can hope for when it comes to interviewing. But yeah, maybe something happened in some coding session. But yeah, the interview process was a bit long, to be honest. I didn't expect to have like 5 interviews. I had like 2 talks, one with the recruiter, one with some engineering manager, where we, yeah, that's the watch. I'm 3 kilometers in. Let's go. The interview process took a while. Like it was like 5 interview rounds, 3 technical rounds. It was back end, front end, and system design. So yeah, the interview process was about 5 rounds. Maybe I messed up something in the other rounds, but yeah, unfortunately I got rejected, and I was a bit stuck in the sense that I was like, okay, well, I got rejected. It was way better than the last time, because last time when I got rejected, I actually fell into a slight depression. But yeah, this time I handled it way better, and I would say that's because of my therapist, because I started going to therapy, and let me tell you that it helped me a lot. I actually recommend, if the budget allows it and you're open to it, I highly recommend you guys go to therapy, because it's really it's really good. Apart from it being fun, you actually get a lot of value out of it, because if you like improving yourself, then that's probably the best place that you can do that at. So yeah, back to the interview. As I said, I didn't really handle it that bad. It's actually pretty good, but the problem is that the job market isn't really looking that great for C# developers. And so what I actually came to the conclusion of today was that I should switch tech stacks, because the thing is, I'm actually looking for smaller companies where I can have more, let's say, more agency, more ownership, than just being a code monkey and just doing like tickets from a Jira backlog or whatever, you know. And so, bro, I can barely talk while walking. But yeah, I'm rambling on. um, yeah, I like a smaller sized company where I can actually provide more value than just a normal corporation. And so I when I tried looking for such companies, the problem is that I couldn't really find any that used C sharp, or rather, the job advertisements are pretty low, in the sense that you have like 5 jobs or something, and when you compare it to something like Python or Node, there's pretty much no comparison. The difference is insane. So considering the size of the company really does matter when it comes to the technologies that they're using, I saw that startups and smaller sized companies usually go in the direction of Next.js or Python. And so I was like, yeah, let's try Next. And actually I started playing around with it today,
and I really do enjoy it. That's surprising because I didn't necessarily have a knack for JavaScript or TypeScript. I mean, it was okay. I don't consider myself a front-end wizard or anything like this. I'm more of a back-end guy. So I picked up Next.js and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I think we can do something with it. But I was thinking that where can I start working more with this? Because like I wrote the backend for Finbud initially in Python, and then I ended up rewriting it completely to C#, and now I want to change the tech stack again to Node.js, but I don't want to rewrite the backend again with the features that it has and everything. And while using AI as a sparring partner, as pair programming, I actually came up with the idea of running, actually developing all new features in Node instead of C#, but supporting the legacy C# features as well. So what this pretty much means is that I keep the existing C# features for backward compatibility, and maybe sometime in the future rewrite everything in Node. But currently I will actually write every new feature in Node, and whenever I need the old features, I guess I can route them to the C# backend. When it comes to actually getting hired using Node, because this is my plan going forward, I'm a bit skeptical because I tried this in the past with Python, and pretty much everyone ignored me because on my CV there was nowhere written Python professional experience, and instead of professional experience I just had some projects, and although those projects were not some simple to-do list apps or some tutorials or whatever, they were actual they were actual products. Nobody really cared. I just got rejected straight away. But the fact that the company that I interviewed for actually but the fact that the company that I interviewed for was in my opinion more interested in the projects that I did than my actual work experience, this gives me a bit of hope, I would say, because maybe if I target smaller companies and startups, maybe they would be more interested in the projects that I built rather than the work experience that I have. And to be honest, in my opinion, your projects should matter more than your work experience, as long as they're not like some tutorial. You didn't just copy paste a YouTube 5-hour full stack REST API whatever tutorial and actually build it yourself. I think that should matter more than work experience, but from my experience applying to jobs and everything, it doesn't really seem that way. But yeah, hopefully things will change.